1 Tottenham away to Frankfurt. The first leg, as we know, so many chances Tottenham had in that game, Abby. You were there. I mean, if only they'd have stuck a couple of them away, we could be talking, and the energy could be very different, and we could be talking about Tottenham bouncing through tonight. But
sorry, what's that? Who's made? Sorry, I just read something on the screen.
Tottenham prepared to part ways with Ange at the end of the season and open to bringing back Jose Mourinho.
The lies, the sheer lies, the sheer audacity. Whoever's made that up, get that off my screen.
Can't be true.
The first part of it is true.
Yeah, the first part.
The second part.
And I have to say, I don't think Jose would want to come back either. So, no thank you.
No Son, no Dragusin, no Odegaard, Danso and Kulusevski. Doubts?
No, Kulusevski should be all right.
Right.
He featured at Wolves. He should be fine. Son is out with a foot injury. Didn't travel. I was actually talking about this before the show with Kenya, and that's your captain.
You got to travel.
I'm sorry, but you should be travelling.
I agree.
You should be there. I remember when we was on that Champions League run when we got to the final. Harry Kane was injured for so much of that. He was there every single game on the bench. I remember watching him sprint across that pitch as well with.
So you think he's spewing
one leg? I just think again, it just shows and highlights the complete lack of leadership at Tottenham. If you're the captain, you make sure you're there. It's the biggest game in your season. It's all Tottenham have.
No, but if you're injured, you're injured, right?
Don't care. Don't care. Be on there. Go and be a leader and be there.
Yeah, actually, you know what? You do make a good point.
I can't count on everyone else who's meant to be part of the leadership group. Romero don't even go over to the fans the other day, walked straight down the tunnel. Not a leader of mine. Maddison, fair, came out and held it after Chelsea. But you're meant to be the captain of this side. Unless you cannot walk, go and be with your team. Go and lead like a leader should do.
It's not like you've got.
Would you expect that of one of your players?
Queue to be in.
Would you ever see that from a Chelsea captain? John Terry there, full kit. Yeah. Would you expect that if it was Virgil?
You know when we played you in 08-09 4-4 second leg at Gilgaff, Gerrard was injured. And he
Unbelievable.
Was in the stands. I know it's the same country, but it doesn't matter. What is it? A two hour flight?
Sorry, you can
actually make a good point because Gabriel was there the other night when we played.
What are you doing if you're not there?
Sitting at home on your sofa watching it with resting your foot. You can go and
but
do
you know
that
what?
there. Just
you know
be
what
in the changing room.
100% team talks.
Go and be there. If you're the captain of this side, go and be there.
You know what that tells me, Abby? And maybe you'd be able to comment on this better than we would, but I suspect that there's a lot going on in the change room there. I think the players are falling out of each other and it's not, the harmony isn't quite there.
No chance.
Yeah, I mean, I can't foresee there's any harmony. I mean, Mickey Vanderman made a comment yesterday. He was asked why he's not playing every week. He said you have to ask the gaffer.
Yeah,
I think that's
strange.
quite self-explanatory when you've got hamstrings like a cheese string. Yeah. Like, you've only just come back.
Say that again?
Hamstrings like a cheese string.
Yeah, it's facts.
It's facts.
I wouldn't play him every game either.
Literally facts. Big up cheese string. Love a cheese string.
He needs to be rotated.
He has to be rested because if you're going to play him against Wolves, and you're going to risk him for the biggest game in your season, which is on Thursday, I actually don't mind that. I don't necessarily think Mickey needs to come out and say, ask the gaffer. Like, you know why you're not playing.
Yeah, I saw that and I was a bit perplexed. When he said that, I could not help but think that was a little...
but there's a way of saying it. You can say, obviously, I'm coming back from a long-term injury. They're trying to manage my minutes because we've got a really important game on Thursday. Done.
But that whole, you can ask the gaffer, just tells me, listen, I don't care, man. Just...
They're not bothered. They're not rolling with him anymore. They're not bothered.
You don't have any leaders in that team anyway.
No.
It also tells me though that there's a little bit of the energy is not right there.
Of course not. But look where they are on the table.
No, I mean like with the whole like with the players and managers.
Look where they are on the table.
Laurie, there's no energy. There's nothing. They've lost 17 times in the league. They're on course to win.
But would you say that with the Son thing as well though? That's part of it.
Again, I don't know. I don't know why he's not there. I think it's outrageous he's not there as captain in your biggest game of the season. I don't know. Like he said yesterday, he doesn't really care either way what anyone thinks. So if you don't care, I don't care about you either.
Yeah.
But look, it's a very...
Do you get the impression with Ange, he just wants to win that trophy so he can say, look, see...
He's not winning
I'll
that
be honest
trophy.
with you, I don't even think he thinks he's going to win that trophy.
He's not winning that trophy.
And also, like every manager that comes through Spurs, we end up just breaking their soul, and he looks soulless at this point. He looks like he's just like, I know what's coming. He's made the comments loads of times. He said, everyone's written me off, everyone says I'm getting sacked, so...
You need like a... You guys need like a younger manager. You need character. You need personality. You need someone to raise the place a little bit in terms of the mood because right now it's just depressing. This guy is depressing.
But it always raises for a bit.
You could cut and paste that and apply that to you.
If I go back to last season...
Our guy is young.
if I go back to last season, it did raise for 10 games. and then it goes again, and then every manager.
You guys have been honking for like 18 months now, isn't it?
It's every 18 months we get a new manager.
Yeah.
Every 18 months. I've seen the story a billion times. Last week it was frustrating. I thought we were the better team, especially in the second half. You know, Bergvall hit the bar. We had so many chances, just needed a little bit more quality up front. Frustrating because we should have gone into this game probably 3-1 up. And obviously now going to Frankfurt, which they're a good team. I think they're third in Bundesliga. Won at the weekend as well, convincingly. And again, you're going to go there in a hostile environment. Spurs don't really have any bollocks about them, don't do well in a hostile environment. And you've got to be perfect. And in an Ange system, that's the only way that anything ever works, is if you are perfect. And unfortunately, this team can't be perfect.
Abby, when you're looking at the players that will play tonight, who are you looking at to raise the standards, to be that guy that steps up to the plate when it's needed? Because if this topples down tonight, it's almost like this era, this whole Ange project is in the bin, really. So who are you looking at on that lineup tonight to be like, come on, give us something?
Well, first and foremost, I look at Vicario. If you're going to go squeeze people's faces and you're going to go shout about and do your job right, first and foremost, absolutely terrible at the weekend. Absolutely shocking performance. I need him to actually have a decent game. As a shot stopper, good. Anything else, poor, really poor. And that's why when we said in Jan, when Kinski first come in, obviously Kinski's really young, but if you could merge the two, it would be great, because then you'd actually have a really good keeper there. Romero, if I speak on this man, I need to see some form of a good performance.
You need to see a world-class performance
I need to see a good performance from him.
Ekitike.
I need to see a good performance from all of that back line. I don't know whether or not he'll go with Spence. I don't know if he'll go with the doggy. Porro, I need to see some defensive nous as well, rather than just getting forward. But I need to see good balls in the box. Be aware of your surroundings as well defensively. I'm looking at Maddison.
That's the one I'm
looking at Maddison. He did get the assist last week. I need more. I need more from you. I expect Kulusevski to start. And again, it depends who he goes with. I assume he'll go with Odebert over. Obviously, Son's not available now. I guess Odebert, Johnson, Kulusevski, Maddison.
Are these guys going to rise, though?
Are they going to rise? And also, just someone who you've just highlighted is Dom Solanke. Like, I've been quite nice about Solanke this season, in the sense that, okay, he might not always get the goal, but I like the way he holds the ball up, the way he brings players in, the link up play. I like that element of it, but I need to see some ROI. I need to see some type of return on my investment here. And this is a very, very big moment. And I
who have been the successes this season at Spurs?
Lucas Bergvall, I'd say Archie Gray and Jed Spence. That's it. And Kulusevski.
What do you think of
Kulusevski? I don't even think he can be in that group.
No, Kulusevski had a very good season until he got injured. Up until he got injured.
So how many months?
Kulusevski, I'd say he's probably been our most consistent performer. Other than,
because I haven't heard from him this year.
His peak. Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't say this year. I think that's
when you beat City 4-0 away.
Yeah, but that was November. That was the last time Spurs played well.
That's what I'm saying. From maybe September to November, December, Kulusevski was really good.
Yeah, really good. But I would also say then over that period, I would still say that Kulusevski was putting in good performances. And then he's been injured for 2 months.
Yeah. All right, score predictions for tonight. How does this one end in Frankfurt tonight?
Probably in tears. I actually...
Are there tears left to shed?
There's always tears. Always tears.
Keep it up a bit though, let's.
It's hard, because obviously I want to back them, and I will back them. But if I'm honest, I don't really believe in my heart that we're going to be able to go through. But I will, and I'll say that we'll win 2-1 tonight.
2-1. Abby's going for. Laurie, what's the score going to be tonight?
I've got to disagree with Abby on this one.
I disagree with myself, so don't worry about it.
I see Frankfurt. I saw some clips today on Sky about how they're looking forward to the game. The fans, the players, the manager, they're all upbeat. I like their energy. Contrast that with Spurs. It seems to be some kind of disharmony in the camp.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can't see Tottenham going there and beating them. So I'm going Frankfurt 2-0.
Frankfurt 2-0 on the light, which would be 3-1 on aggregate. Matisse? You open for the Frankfurters to turn Tottenham into some sausages tonight?
They're definitely going through for me. Frankfurt, 2-0.
2-0 on the night.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Tottenham a goal. I actually think Tottenham score first in this one tonight.
Why do you think that?
They conceded after a minute the other day.
They did. They haven't started well, so there's actually no reason. It's just 100. Why not? Make it a bit more.
He just threw that out there.
But I still think... I think Frankfurt go through 2-1 on the night, and it's 3-2 on aggregate. I do think they go through. But let us know in the chat, what do you think? And obviously Forest now, no game until Monday night, but will Ange even survive that if they do lose tonight? Let us know in the chat what you think.
That's another thing. Do they stick with him to the end of the season? If they've got
I think it's pretty pointless.
Well, they've identified Marcus.
If they go out tonight, they should just sack him.
Yeah, they can identify all of these players.
Try and get the vibes back at least.
They can identify every
Rihanna
manager.
as a wife
Exactly. You know, you can identify who you want. Is what you're going to do? Sell another project to another manager? Just go and look at the last 6-7 managers.
No, but what would you do though? Say you're, the guy in charge. If Ange, as expected, goes out tonight,
what would I do?
Yeah, would you replace him for the end? Because there are still games left.
I'd sack him.
Or would you just wait until?
Well, look, I've seen the Ryan Mason story a couple of times. That's also pointless. But I don't know. You're essentially trying to play for some form of pride in the league. And I look at the fixtures. Off the top of my head, I think we've got Forest, we've got Brighton, we've got West Ham, and I can't remember the others. But I said it on my show the other day. I do not know. When I look at those fixtures, I don't see where Spurs are getting there.
Yeah, but you've got players. That's the thing. You've got the players to get results in those games. But you're not getting those results with the manager.
Forest, Liverpool, West Ham, Palace, Villa,
away,
Brighton. That's it.
And then you're playing Arsenal in 31st.
Palace, Brighton, West Ham. You can get results there.
What? Really?
Yeah. With the players you have.
With the players you have.
That's what I'm saying. Sack the manager.
So what? You're telling me you think Ryan Mason can get a tune out?
No.
So then what?
I do.
we bring him back Stellini again.
What, who's on the coaching staff?
Abby, I do think for one very important reason that
there must be someone else.
I do think that the club do have to be cognizant of the fans here. They can't just throw the rest of those half a dozen games away, if you like. So if he does go out today and there's nothing to play for, you might as well just terminate things because. Bring in somebody.
What's the point?
Yeah,
and Ryan Mason would have to be the interim.
Yeah,
so that they would then
because the energy is so low.
That always has gone so well.
I know, but there's what's
but the energy.
17 defeats. It honestly can't get any worse.
Yeah, it can as well.
It actually can. It can. It can.
Can it get any worse?
It can.
It can.
It literally can. We can.
It can.
What was it? 22. It could be 22 league defeats, 23 league defeats. Just end it, mate. Just put the club down.
Ooh.